for their products. So this is my answer.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will take question answer sessions at the end as well. Thank you so much for your presentation, and you discussed in a very detail about the CPEC, first BRI, the historical background, and then CPEC. Also, you emphasized on the special economic zones and also what Pakistan is doing and how you see how we are moving further and what are the possible areas of cooperation and how we perceive CPEC as a debt trap or something else. So you explained very well. Thank you so much. Before moving towards our panel discussion, I would like to, add furthermore about CPEC that since we established our diplomatic relations between Pakistan and China, they are, different historical periods throughout. Despite the changes, Pakistani and Chinese government and people, they supported each other. And we have friendship, we have friendly ties. Chinese and Pakistani governments are, I would say, have deeply realized the importance of CPEC from Kashgar in Xinjiang to China, uh, China and reaching Karachi, Gwadar. So Pakistan, this means that we are promoting friendly cooperation and establish the shared destiny of two countries. How we see CPEC, how we work on that, it is up to us and it is up to Pakistani government. And you also talked about people to people contact, and I think it is very important. We are lacking this thing, that we do not have that kind of trust among the people of or relations among the people of both countries. We till now we are unable to develop that kind of connection which we have with the Western countries. So I don't know how long we will be able to take China in that way, but yes, CPEC, we have almost completed our 10 years and we have achieved few things. There are some drawbacks as well, but how we learn from this and in future, this is a big question for all of us. So moving towards our panel discussion, we have our panelists with us. We will be starting from Usman Zulfiqar. He is graduated in international relations from NAMAL and now working with a think tank. So Usman, I hope, uh, yes, over to you, Usman.
Well, thank you so much, Musawir. It's been a wonderful session, and thank you so much for having me. And I really enjoyed, and it was a comprehensive presentation again from Miss Sadia. I'm actually I just went back to the time when I used to hear from her in the class, and it's really the things like she's explaining. The way nobody else actually she's completely she's completely covered everything about CPEC that I'm finding very little to tell you about the CPEC. Anyways, it's about CPEC. Whenever it has been a talk in Pakistan about CPEC, it used to be called the game changer in Pakistan, and then it's and then there is no doubt in this reality. Then it is really a game changer when it is manipulated and it is exploited perfectly. And it is a requirement from Pakistan. And my point, I am not going very deep into the overview of CPEC because the ma'am has already explained very well. Just a few things that after the COVID-19, the dynamics have been very much changed. When we look at the challenges coming to the CPEC and the other things in the policy and the governance, we see that there is a propagation, there is a propaganda against CPEC. Very recently, when American Ambassador Donald Bloom visited to Gwadar, it was a very huge among the countries, those who do not like Pakistan, those who do not like CPEC, those who do not like Pakistan progressing. they were telling that the Pakistan had a tilt over United States. It's not a doubt over there that the Pakistan have and Pakistan will have good uh, uh, understanding and relationship with the United States, but it is never been a compromise over the CPEC with the United States or any of the Western countries. So there is a little requirement which I wanted that to be added in this, and there is I know and I've heard about that there is a little debate on it, that the Pakistan and and the China should have added a little a kind of information corridor or a thing which needs to which is required for to dismiss these kind of rumors, these kinds of propagation against the CPEC. So I just wanted to add these things. Other things are already been discussed a lot. One thing I also wanted to add that in the second phase of CPEC, it's been it's been it's been kind of thing that they have decided that Pakistan and the China would collectively go for the green development. So obviously both of the countries are having uh, the problem of climate change in these things. So their projects like we in Pakistan have seen that that under the CPEC we had massive coal projects, we have electricity projects, and we have earned it. We have generated over 6,000 megawatts of electricity in the country. We have got some jobs as well. But the biggest challenge emerging in these days to Pakistan is that Pakistan and China needs to go for the green development, go for the for the product for the projects which may not harm the environment, which is the biggest concern for these for the both countries, particularly Pakistan, which and the South Asia, which is facing in the past 2 or 3 years. So I will stop here, and I think if anybody have any question, so I would like to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Usman, for your remarks. Now we will be moving towards another panelist, Zamir Asadi. I hope Zamir Saab is with us.
जी बिल्कुल
Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Just give me a minute. Thank you very much. First of all, I would appreciate again to the organizers, Diplomacy Forum and ex-Chinese Association once again for arranging this session in this year. Last year, it was my first time to join, and this is the second time to join you guys. This is really a great, debating session where the youngsters, the students, and the panelists, they sit together and they share their ideas. So, Madam Sadia have once again given a very comprehensive briefing on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The points that I thought to share have already been covered by them. But definitely it's my turn. So I would like to talk about something about Belt and Road Initiative and CPEC. Being a journalist, I have just come back from Beijing after attending the third Belt and Road Forum, which was hosted by President Xi Jinping. So I would like to share my experience of that Belt and Road Forum. This was my second time I was there. I have attended the first Belt and Road Forum in 2017, and now I have attended the second one. So I think these are the students. I think they are already very well aware of this initiative. But let me talk about that how this initiative was started, the history of this BRI. Although we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of this Belt and Road Initiative and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in this year, but it is not the 10th year of this BRI and the CPEC. The history goes back to I think hundreds of years when there was the old Silk Road was there, launched by the Chinese, and the trade was going on. It is just the reboost, or you can say the relaunching of that Silk Road. So under this, Belt and Road Initiative, there are 6 major corridors that are going on, and China is working on it. The CPEC is just a one component, or is just a one corridor. So the other corridors are a new Eurasian land bridge, and the China Mongolia Russia corridor, China Indochina Peninsula, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, and the China Central Asia West Asia corridor. So, but luckily, Pakistan is a kind of a lucky country, being a neighboring country, brotherly country, and you can say a very brotherly country of China. Pakistan got a very big project under this BRI, that is called China Pakistan Economic Corridor. And as I was there in Beijing in Belt and Road Forum, we come to know, and we were very happy that the Chinese media, they have written the very exclusive and the detailed articles about the success of the CPEC in the last 10 years. So it was considered as the CPEC was shining project at the third Belt and Road Forum, because it has attracted the $26 billion investment from China in the last 10 years. It has created more than 250,000 jobs in Pakistan to the local peoples. More than 1,000 kilometers highways and the roads have been built. Gwadar Port is there. Gwadar International Port is going to be launched, and vocational training centers are there. Our local engineers, local laborers are gaining the expertise of the international you can say the work while working with the Chinese laborers. So as far as the CPEC is concerned, I think it has evolved and it has changed the economic landscape of Pakistan. There are some students, I was just reading the comments that there is a misperception, or you can say the perception, maybe it will be right in their minds, that CPEC or China is a kind of a colonial kind of project that China is, doing in Pakistan, or BRI is a colonial kind of initiative. Let me be very clear, and we should be very clear about it, that we are at the recipient ends. We are at the receiving end. We are not at the end that is investing in any other country. So Pakistan is at the receiving end in this case. So I will just quote a very simple example, that if I am a businessman, if Mr. Zamir is a businessman, if you are, if Mr. Furqan or Mr. Ahad, Mr. Shoaib, anyone, if anyone is a businessman and he is investing in any region, in any city, in any union council, it is a very simple example I am quoting here. If I am investing in any of the union council level, in any of the street, first of all, I will see that what is my benefit in investing or in building a street. Then definitely I will see what is the benefit of the guys or the people living in those in any specific street. So any of the businessman in any part of the world does not invest just for the benefit of the others. First of all, it is the benefit of that businessman who is investing. So if it is China, it is United States or Britishers or Europeans, if they are investing anywhere in any part of the world, then definitely it is their basic responsibility. It is their right to think about firstly for their interest. They will definitely protect their interest first. Then they will consider or think about the interest of the others where they are investing. So we should be very clear about it. So if I do not consider it as a colonial kind of a project, as was a Marshall Plan that was launched by the United States after the Second Cold War for the building of some of the European countries. We see that the European countries after that Marshall Plan are right now, as we are sitting here, are just dependent economically, and their foreign policies are dependent on America. Wherever the America is launching the wars, Europeans are supporting them. They cannot go, or they cannot resist the foreign policy decisions of the America in internationally in any country. So, but in this case, CPEC, in the CPEC, we have just witnessed the $26 billion investment package in the first 10 years by China in Pakistan. And we have not seen any kind of a do more kind of a narrative which we were getting from America in the last 20 years in the war, so-called war on terror. So we have never witnessed in our media or at the government level that China is demanding a do more kind of a subject things from Pakistan, that you should, and it is not a conditional kind of investment, as America has always, if we are getting the IMF, packages, these are always conditional. And right now we are getting the news that under the recent IMF package, the sovereignty of our state bank have been given to the IMF. So I think the Chinese have invested $26 billion. We have not given or surrendered any of the sovereignty of any of our department to Chinese. We have surrendered the sovereignty of our state bank to the IMF, to the Americans. And now they have the access to every kind of the financial, information of Pakistan. So, and there is a kind of a perception that it is a kind of a debt trap. Oh, bhai, we are in a need of financial investment. We are lacking financial, requirements, and we are in a need of the financial packages. We are looking from the international community when we are in a need. And if I myself is getting a loan from anyone, how I can say that the Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z is putting a debt trap on me? This is my fault. I am not, developed myself as an economic independent person. If I am economically, I am weak, and I am getting a loan from any X, Y, or Z person, then how I can blame him that you are putting a debt trap on me? It is our fault that we are all the time, all the years, we are getting the loans from any of the country, and China is helping us. Is you can say as a friendly, as a brotherly, or whatever. But if someone is helping us and we are putting a blame on that country that you are putting us in the debt trap, what kind of a philosophy or a mentality it is? All the time we are talking about it. If you think that it is a kind of a debt trap on us, then why don't you build up yourself as an economic independent nation? We are such a weak nation that every year we are backing $1 or $2 billion from international community, and we are talking about our economic sovereignty and economic sovereignty. I think these kind of false build-ups and I don't know what kind of excuses or claims we all the time are making. When we will be economic independent, when we will be in a position, we will be having our economic sovereignty, then we can say to or blame to any other country. Otherwise, if we are getting the loans all the time and we are requesting them to reschedule our loans, we are not in a position to repay, and we are requesting for to put extra payments in our state bank, like Saudi Arabia have just extended the $3 billion deposits to Pakistan in the last week. So how we can blame Saudi Arabia that they are putting a debt trap on us? I think if it is very bad, it's a debt trap is very bad for us, then we should stop taking the loans from any of the country. And these loans internationally, the Americans, they also take the loans. Chinese, they also take the loans. These loans are not bad, These loans are needed by any country for their socio-economic development. You just, read about the concept. What is the concept of...
Presenter.
Hello?
I missed that panorama.
Please mute yourself, please.
Hello. Okay. So I'm very sorry that I was making some comments like this, but I think we should be wise enough to talk about these kind of things. If someone is helping our country, and you can see frankly speaking, any of you tell me that do we have enough financial facilities or financial packages, or do we have some finances to build our Gwadar port? Do we have the financial capacity to build our Gwadar International Airport? Have we even talked about the development of the Gwadar International Airport before the launch of the CPEC in 2013? Never. We do not have enough finances to even feed our people. How we can talk about the development of our roads without feeding the people when we don't have the enough money? So I think there are many. The problem is that we are all the time we are reading, reports from BBC, CNN, American, newspapers. I think I would suggest you guys. You are the young students. You have to play a greater role in your fields when you will come in your profession. I think you should also consult the Chinese media. Do read about China Daily, Global Times, People's Daily. They will give you a different perspective of the of the international foreign policies, international economic plans. Do not make up your minds only by reading the BBC and CNN and New York Times and Washington Post and Wall Street Journal's report. It will just ruin your mentality. It will just read your mindset, and it's not gonna help you in the future. And you see that recently G7 countries and the Americans, they have launched and India, Middle East, and Europe economic corridor. I bet you guys that you will see after 5 years there will be not a single penny or not a single dollar investment in this plan, because these countries, they are just hyping up their hegemony across the globe, and they want to continue to pressing the developing countries. And then there was a plan announced by the Americans: build back better world, 3Bs. And where is that plan now after the 2 years of the announcement by the Americans? We have not seen a single dollar investment under that plan. So I think if someone is delivering, if someone is doing a good job, we should appreciate. And if you think it's a debt trap, I think you should not take any kind of a benefit from any of the CPEC project. You see that how many students in Pakistan have learned the Chinese language and are doing a good job as an interpreter in the Chinese companies and making a good money, feeding their families, lighting up their stoves. So I think there are many good things. There are many good things under this CPEC project. We should be very open-minded. We should open our minds. We should open our hearts, and we should, have a good analysis of the investment packages coming to Pakistan. We should be very critical. Definitely, why not? We should be very critical. But if someone is helping you without putting the political conditionalities, you should appreciate that country or that individual. Thank you very much. And sorry for my harsh comments.